everyone. Very glad to see you here today. I'm just going to wait a couple more minutes for everyone to join. Thank you very much for registering and coming to this webinar today. And while we're waiting for everyone, just wanted to remind you guys of some housekeeping rules for our webinar today. So I'm going to be sharing a presentation with you today, and this webinar is also being recorded. So what that means is that you can review the recording of this webinar at any given time and moment after this webinar has been conducted as well, in case you would like to refresh some knowledge or in case you need to drop off. So we will share this recording with you, of course. And also let me know if you would like to receive the slide deck for this presentation as well, as we can share that one with you guys as well, in case that's interesting to you. Feel free to use the Q&A box to ask any questions during the webinar. I will try and attend to it as soon as possible, and we will also have a section in the end of the webinar where people will be able to ask questions and get answers for the questions. So feel free to either pop them in right away or wait until the end, and so that we can discuss them in the end. So thank you everyone once again for joining, and I'll just wait a little more just to see if any more people would like to join, just so we don't start without anyone who would like to be part of this webinar today. So I hope everyone has been doing well in this weather. Yeah, okay. Right, I think most of the people have joined that would like to have this webinar today. So I'm very, very glad to start with everyone here, and hopefully more people will join us along the way as well. So for the ones that don't know, today's webinar is all about the AI advantage. So how to use AI tools to enhance your job readiness skills. And particularly, we will be looking into, of course, one of the most popular AI tools available there is ChatGPT. But I'm also going to be sharing with you guys a lot of really, really interesting information. So let's dive into it. First of all, my name is Nora, and I'm a business analyst at Intern Match, and I will be conducting today's session. What we will cover today is, of course, first of all, covering off our basics and getting to know what is AI, why is AI important, why does it matter for enhancing your job skills. Then how do we actually use AI to prepare us for our dream jobs, or what other areas can we use it for? Of course, then we're going to be looking into ChatGPT a little bit more and into ChatGPT prompts that we can use to enhance those skills, enhance our resumes, and all the other parts that we're going to be talking about today. And what other platforms are there that we can use and utilize to become even better at this hard process that is applying for jobs? So first of all, what is AI? It's quite the buzzword these days, right? You hear it here and there. It's all over LinkedIn. It's all over every social media. Everyone seems like is talking about AI. In case you were wondering or didn't really know what that is, without going too technical, AI refers to the development of a computer system that can perform tasks which are similar to tasks that a human would perform. And so a lot of people actually use AI systems to their advantage and help use those AI systems to help them perform their jobs or other duties that they encounter on a day-to-day basis. AI enables basically machines or computer systems to analyze and interpret information learn from the user's input and other experience that it has while working for humans, and make decisions or take actions based on that knowledge. So it can make predictions, it can help you make decisions, things like that. So why does AI matter in this particular context for us? So AI matters for job enhancing skills because it can personalize your learning, it can make it more efficient and relevant, it offers tailored content tailored to your needs and your learning styles, or whatever other individualities you might have. It can automate practice, help you identify your gaps, and help you accelerate your skills, your development, your professional development, make you just overall better equipped for this huge process, which is your career. And parts of it are applying for jobs, doing your resume, and reaching out to people, networking, things like that, that some people might find quite tricky. So AI can really, really help us improve in all of those job readiness skills. Now, let's look a little bit deeper into what particular tasks can we really look into, and what can AI really, really help us take advantage of. So first of all, of course, is personalized learning. So different AI tools, there are already so many out there, can help you customize learning content to your particular level and progress and your needs, of course, and to your industry. There are some AI tools there as well out there that can help you customize your learning experience to your particular way of learning. So, for example, you are a person who learns visually. It will convert the information into visuals, graphics, things like that, that will help you compute that information more easily. Another thing is adaptive feedback. So we can use AI tools to help us gather feedback on our performance, on our skills, on the documents or text that we produce, things like that. So AI can really help us improve in those directions as well. Then we have automated practice. Another very important thing here is automating practice experience. So let's say you want to learn something and you need to do and improve in that every single day. So what AI can help you do is, of course, automate those practice exercises and even check those exercises for you and work through them with you so that you can enhance your skills and enhance your development efficiently. Another couple of things that we can look into as well is targeted skill building. So AI can help you, first of all, analyze and realize which skills are the most valid for your current industry and your current level of progression in your career, and then help you focus on those areas that need enhancement and maximize your learning. And of course, all the previous steps can help you do that as well. Now, another thing is career alignment. And I know that a lot of people struggle with that particular thing a lot. So, tailoring your learning to your job requirements, boosting your job readiness, tailoring your resume, tailoring your job applications, your LinkedIn requests and notes, and helping develop your professional brand, and all those things that we talk about in our other Career Catalyst webinars as well. So all of these parts can all be enhanced by using AI tools as well. And of course, our last one is continuous improvement. So AI can help you to adapt your progress and really ensure that you have an ongoing skill enhancement for you. So It can really, really help you progress in a lot of ways if you use it wisely. These are just some of the directions that you might want to explore while using your AI tools that might be a bit more relevant for the stages in your lives that you are currently at. But believe me, there are so many more applications based on what industry you're at or what level you're currently at that you might want to look into to really help you understand and leverage all those possibilities from AI tools. And it is really, really important that you do these at this early stages to make sure that you are standing out in the crowd of other people who are also using these tools. So if you're not using them now and other people are already using them, they're going to be leveraging that advantage and you won't be. It will help them save time, save effort, make everything a little bit better and enhanced, whereas you're going to be missing out on those parts if you're not going to be looking into them right now. So for today's session in particular, of course, we want to concentrate a little more on what can AI really help us with in those job readiness skills. So what can AI and how can AI help us, for example, for resume building, cover letter formatting, for even interview preparation? How can it help us for growing your personal brand on LinkedIn, preparing a presentation with your project, or mapping out your career pathway? Even things like that. You can save your time and effort. And if you don't have access to, for example, mentors or career coaches at this stage of life, AI can replace some of those parts that those jobs and tools can give you and still give you that experience that you might get from, for example, a career development coach or other people like that. Of course, it can't replace a human yet, but it can help you get closer to what a human would give you, of course. So today we're going to be looking into some ChatGPT prompts. If you guys haven't accessed ChatGPT yet, I've placed a QR code on this slide here. Feel free to scan it just with your phone camera and open it right now. Even try some prompts out if you would like to, and share some feedback with us if you would like to in the chat. So let's see, of course, what is ChatGPT to start with. So I know that probably all of you have already heard about this tool, but I just wanted to go through the basics in case there were some people that are still not yet 100% familiar with this tool. So ChatGPT is an AI technology, and that's why we're talking about it today in this AI context. So it is an AI technology, and it's basically like a chatbot that kind of replaces sort of a search engine, and it allows you to have a human-like interaction or conversation with this AI technology that can give you answers to those responses, to the input that you're putting into that tool. So you can basically gather information from this conversational chat tool by creating prompts for it. So a big part of learning how to really, really utilize ChatGPT to its maximum potential is to learn how to make a good prompt. So if any of you guys need a little bit of help on how to get set up with ChatGPT, please feel free to scan this QR code right there as well. It will give you a good instruction of how to get started and what are the things you need to know just to get started with the platform. So in case you need some tips and tricks, please feel free to scan it now. What we're going to be doing today is already a step further. So for all these people who have already maybe logged in a couple of times, used it a couple of times, but don't really know yet what are the best prompts that can help you to really, really leverage the best for your job readiness skills. So, also an important thing to mention, we're going to be doing this based off the free model. So it is currently the ChatGPT 3.5 version that is accessible to everyone for free. There is a paid version. Please feel free to explore that at your own convenience if you would like to sign up for that. But today we will be looking into the free version. And that can already give us quite a lot. So before we really dive deep into what ChatGPT can offer to us, we need to understand what it can't offer to us. So first of all, we of course need to understand the limitations that we need to be mindful of while working together with ChatGPT. And these are really just important points to think of when you're getting those responses from ChatGPT and processing them and utilizing them for your own benefit. Just look out for these particular things to not mock up and not make any mistakes while working with ChatGPT. So some important things, for example, are that ChatGPT only has data or access to data before 2021. So anything that happened after, ChatGPT won't know about. So in case you want it to help you with something very recent and modern, it might not be able to do so. So just be mindful of that it has been trained only on data that has been created before 2021. So that will be one of our first and most important points to keep in mind. Now, second thing is that ChatGPT does not provide sources for its responses currently. You can ask for some reference, but that gives us, that sort of takes us into one of the next points, is it doesn't really, it can be incorrect, and we have to be mindful that sometimes it just tries to create the best answer to your prompt or to your question, which is not always necessarily 100% true. So always just be careful with using the raw response from ChatGPT without even looking further into it. Make sure to maybe dig a little bit deeper into it, especially if it's something that very much matters to you. And ChatGPT can make mistakes. So always double check things like a word count or some crucial information that you asked for. So just make sure to not blindly rely on everything that ChatGPT gives you. It can be a great tool that can help you, but it won't do the job for you at 100%. Now, next thing is that ChatGPT in its purest form doesn't have connection to the internet. So it won't be able to give you anything from the internet or look up any links or give you any of the best sources or links or things like that. It can only give you answers based on the data that it has been trained on. So it does have sort of APIs and integrations with other things, but we're not going to be looking into that today. Feel free to have a look into that if that interests you. Another thing is ChatGPT can't read documents. So while we're going to be especially working on our resumes, it's important to know that you can't just upload it to ChatGPT in a PDF format and then let it do all the job for you. Unfortunately, it can't create spreadsheets for you, can't create documents for you, also can't read spreadsheets or documents for you. So copy pasting data will be the best thing to do for now. Now, of course, another thing that we might forget because ChatGPT is so human-like is that ChatGPT actually doesn't have that human-like common sense. So some things that might be obvious to humans might not be as obvious to ChatGPT. And just be mindful of that you have to feed as much data into it for it to really give you the best response. If you haven't given it all the necessary data, it might not include it in the final response. So just be mindful of that point. Now, next thing is ChatGPT can't handle multiple tasks together. It will put you in error. It will stop generating responses. It just can't do two things at once. I'm also really bad at multitasking, so I can really relate to ChatGPT on this one. It really can't multitask. So you will have to ask for each question individually and wait until it finishes generating a response for the first one, and then ask the second one. Now, next one is we have kind of already covered it. It can provide biased answers. Just really be mindful of that and double check the information that it gives you. It also cannot understand context. So if you sort of have a context in your head and it really makes sense to you, it might not make as much sense to this model. So just make sure to feed it as much data, as much input, as much context as possible for it to give you that desired response. And there are, of course, it is a very powerful tool, but there are still things that it struggles with quite a lot. And that is, for example, complex mathematical problems and numbers and things like that, and very complex code. So just be careful that those really hard tasks you might need to do yourself still at this point. All right. Now that we've covered our limitations, we know what it can't do, we want to finally get to the bottom of what it can do for us. And first and most important rule that we're going to learn today is that in ChatGPT prompts, we can't feed it trashy information. If we feed it trash, we get trash in the end result. So this is the most important equation for us to understand. The better the input is, the better the response will be. And that's also why AI probably won't replace any of your jobs yet, because we need those people that can feed it quality information, that have the understanding at a higher level and at a really sort of improved and deep knowledge of that niche industry, to really be able to feed it prompts that will give it the best possible result. Now, I'm going to be sharing with you guys one of the very generic or general prompts that I really love using for most of the things that I ask ChatGPT to do for me. So this prompt, feel free to take a screenshot of it, copy it, whatever you would like to do, can help you do a lot of things and can really help you go far with this prompt. So let's read through it and understand what input we need to change here to really utilize the best out of this prompt. So imagine you are or act as ... with extensive experience in ... Create a ... based on the information below, and you can provide all your information below. And another little addition that I don't really see much anywhere really, but that really helps me take it to a next level is ask additional questions if needed to give the best possible answer. Now let's deconstruct this prompt a little bit, right? First of all, what we're doing is we are giving ChatGPT a context. We're asking ChatGPT to act as a particular expert in a particular field. Then we're asking it to create something on the information that we provide. And then we are counting for those things that we might have not provided to ChatGPT yet, but that could be useful for ChatGPT to create the best possible answer for you. So if you try using this prompt now, ChatGPT might actually, for example, ask you back 3 to 5 questions. And when you give an answer to those questions, it will give you a much, much better result. So we can use this prompt for many, many things. We can say, imagine you are a career coach with extensive experience in IT recruitment. Help me create a brilliant resume based on the job experience below. Ask additional questions if needed to give the best possible answer. For example, right? That's, for example, for your resume. For interviews, imagine you are a senior software engineer at Google with extensive experience in software engineering. Create a interview questions list based on the information below, and then you can provide, for example, the job description. Ask additional questions if needed to give the best possible list of questions. That way, ChatGPT can help you prepare for your interviews and can help you improve with your interviewing skills. Another thing that you can do afterwards as well is give ChatGPT answers to those interview questions that you would usually provide to your interviewer, and then ask it for feedback. And that way you can almost work with it as you would with a career coach or a mentor. Now, I decided today to really, really look into a 5 steps plan for you guys to help you potentially land your dream job. So I decided to share a really, really quick plan that everyone today who has attended this webinar can follow to help them get the confidence and start applying for your dream job and hopefully get you a couple of steps closer to it. So let's dive into it. Our first step. First of all, as we mentioned before in our general prompt, we're gonna ask ChatGPT to act as someone. And first of all, we are going to ask it to find out the top 5 skills. So let's say the prompt is act as an executive career coach. Give me top 5 skills required for the following job and explain why. Here is the job description, and you will paste the job description in there. What this will provide you with is a list of 5 top skills that the recruiter for your dream role is most likely looking for in this job description. ChatGPT can analyze that job description for you and give you an extensive list with the whys as well. And those whys are going to be very, very important. This will give you a deep insight in what can make you a successful candidate and how to approach including those skills into your resume, your cover letter, your interview answers, in your potentially in some of your LinkedIn posts or things like that you can do to prep yourself and your profile for that dream job application. So on the right-hand side, I included an example of what a response to this prompt would approximately look like. It can vary for different people, but this is something you should be getting something similar. So what I did is I copied a job description from LinkedIn, just copy pasted it into this prompt where the brackets are, where it says paste the job description. And this is the answer I got. I got 5 top skills and the whys, which help me understand how I will use this information to my benefit. After only this first step, I can already much better wrap my head around what is the recruiter or the employer actually trying to gauge from that job description. What is the most important stuff that I should be looking out for if I want to succeed in this application? Next step, find and add those keywords to your CV or resume. A lot of companies, as you might already know, use sort of scanning tools that scan your resume for keywords that are included usually in the job description. They will determine what are those top 5 things that they're looking for, what are the most important things, and pre-scan all those resumes before a human even looks at them. This prompt, or those 2 prompts, will help you to include those keywords in your resume effortlessly and will help you pass that screening. If a company is not using screening services, that's totally fine. Humans tend to also look for some keywords in resumes as well. So it will definitely help you include those most important crucial points and focus your resume around that. So let's look at the prompts that we have here. First prompt, and this is a continuation to our previous prompts, right? So we're not saying act as someone again. We're just continuing that conversation with ChatGPT. So now list out all keywords required for the job, rank them by the level of importance, and explain why. Then we're going to say add the top 10 keywords mentioned on the job description for this job title in your target industry. Now, what we will get in the end after those 2 prompts is a response which will look something like portrayed on the right side. So what we get in the end is not just a list of all the keywords and the whys, but also a ranking of the top 10. So we understand which are the most important ones. So we know which ones we want to focus on more and less, with an explanation of how potentially we should implement them into our resume, or why we should even be including them, which can also help you just wrap your head around potentially in your job experience bullet points, how to implement those into your job bullet points or into your career summary or objectives and all those things like that. This will also help you prepare for an interview. All right, and I can see we have a couple of questions coming through the Q&A. And will the screening device identify whether it is from AI? So usually these screening services don't really use sort of plagiarism detectors as such. For example, at your uni, most likely when you submit essays and theses or whatever you're working on, your uni will use a plagiarism detector sort of screening service that will most likely see if it's been generated by an AI or not. Which, another point here, see, we are not using this raw data and just copy pasting it in our resume. We are using ChatGPT to help us analyze what the employer is looking for to then implement it seamlessly into our CV. So with that being said, another point to look out for is including too many keywords. That's kind of the only thing that can, sort of give it out that you're using maybe an AI tool, or even just, blatantly including every single keyword that you can find in the job description. So just be careful and don't over include, too many keywords or those particular sentences and wordings that are mentioned in the job description. So just make sure to not overdo it a little bit, right? So that's why we're concentrating on the top 10, and then seamlessly, by understanding how to implement them and why they're important, integrating them into our CVs and resumes and cover letters and all of that. So I hope that gives an answer to your question, but feel free to type a follow-up and I'll be happy to look into it as well. Hopefully that was important information for everyone. Sorry for stopping the flow, but I thought that might be cool to know for everyone. So now let's say, have our top 10 keywords. We know what we're working with. We already really understand what the employer wants from us, right? We have our job experience. We start lining it all up and putting it all into one document. What is our third step? Create a narrative for your CV. And as usual, here is our prompt and what we should be getting out of ChatGPT after this prompt has been put in. So highlight the top 3 skills required to be successful in this role and create 3 bullet points from my experience to showcase those skills. Of course, you're going to have to include, copy paste your job experience into ChatGPT to get that analysis from it. Also, add achievements in the format mentioned in the job description. Add this to the top of your CV to stand out immediately. What this will show to your recruiter is that you've analyzed the job description, you understand what the job requires to be successful, you understand what the industry requirements are, you understand what the company wants from you, and you already invested time to think of what experience from your background and what skills from your background can help you be the most successful candidate, right? So to make your narrative unique, you have to back it by achievements as well. So of course, the better your job description is, the more achievements and measurable results it will include, the better this step is going to work for you. So here is an example of what it will give you. It will first of all give you the top 3 skills with bullet points that you can include in your resume right away, and that you can also learn and memorize for your interview responses. And then it will also give you achievements. And sorry, I had to cut it off there a little bit. The response was a bit too big, but it will give you the achievements as well in the format mentioned in the job description with the measurable results. So it is really going to give you that information that you're going to be able to use so seamlessly across all of your job acceleration efforts, right? And you can do this with every job description, which will help you personalize your resume to each application as well. And I can see we have another question coming in, and I think it's also important to cover off now. So in which section of the resume will this narrative go to? Personal summary? For example, it can go into your personal summary, it can go into describing your job experiences, depending, of course, if you have relevant ones or not. It can help you describe your educational background, your professional development, and any potentially even mentioning your skills in the skills section of your resume. So this, as you can see, the format that it gives you is bullet points. So it's really, really easy to either maybe use them, maybe change them, swap them around a little bit, but use them for your job experience description, because that is usually the format that we use, and that is the best format for your job experience description. But you can also just kind of take those bullet points and expand them into your personal summary as well, or career objectives or career summary, whatever you might call it on your resume. So you can also take those, even without the bullet points, and just make them your soft skills or your technical skills that you list on your resume as well. So all of these parts you can improve by using this step, right? And here you can really, really explore and see how that job description melts in with your resume. Now, fourth step, make your CV hyper targeted. And I mentioned it a little bit before, but it is quite important to make your resume targeted to the role. This will show your recruiter that you're willing to go the extra mile, that you already understand what the company wants from you, that you already understand how you can help the company, and it will just show it that you're so eager and that you're happy to put in that extra effort to get hired by this company, that you're not just applying to every single role that you see on LinkedIn, right? And of course, it depends on how you make applications generally. But I would recommend choose your top 10 dream companies and just work on them as much as you can, tailoring your resume, tailoring everything you can to what they're asking for. Our prompts. I'm going to send you a job description and resume. Optimize my resume for this job. Copy paste. We're all doing it in one conversation. So ChatGPT will take all of that information that you provided before into account, right? So don't start a new conversation, just do it in the same one. Next prompt, write resume bullet points for, insert job title there, and include metric-based achievements. One more time, this will give you an actual resume, which you will basically only have to format in a way that you would like to format it, right? There are also AI tools out there that can format it for you. But I'm sure in the resume creation, crafting your resumes webinars and things like that, we also share a lot of resources for you to format your resumes a lot. So example of a good bullet point I've also included here, so you can sort of have a baseline and judge what ChatGPT actually gives you after those two prompts. As coming back to our limitations, we do want to double check and double proof all of that information that it gives us. So, we do have to read through every single bullet point just to understand these things, right? But just make sure to read through all of it and just see how that implements with your format, right? So another thing that I actually would recommend including here as well, depending on your location and the location of the job that you're applying for, potentially include that information as well into this prompt here, just saying, make this, by or create it based on Australian standards, for example, or American standards, or whatever you're kind of applying for, because there are going to be some differences depending on which country you're applying for, right? And just some differences in standards. So this, as you can see, personal summary, which is your objective or career summary or whatever you might call it, gives you that one. You can take it, change it a little bit, swap it around, make it sound a little bit more like you, include it in your resume. Professional experience, boom, included in your resume. Skills lists, included in your resume. What you can also do with these is copy, paste them into your LinkedIn page as well. If you are struggling with building your LinkedIn profile, another way of how you can use those steps is to include them on your LinkedIn. Maybe you're not applying for jobs actively right now, but by doing those steps, you can prepare yourself for the time when you are going to be looking for a job. All right. So we have now a very, very customized and tailored resume to a particular job description, right? Now, as I mentioned before, we can use it for LinkedIn. One thing that will be different on your LinkedIn to your resume is, of course, your headline. So now that we've done all of this, it's also kind of counterintuitive. So you would think that the headline is sort of the quickest, the first thing that you would do. I would actually always recommend leaving it up until the last thing, because your headline is actually one of the most important things on your LinkedIn profile. It will define how findable your profile is, how relevant is your profile being perceived by recruiters, and depending on how many keywords are there in your headline will also depend on how many searches you will appear for jobs and things like that. So this is basically the top 1% of your resume, your profile, your job experience, everything that relates to your career. This is that top 1% that you want to show as the first impression. So ChatGPT can help us optimize that headline as well to get noticed by recruiters. So what we'll see is write the LinkedIn headline based on my target role for that job title and example job description, blah, 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 right? So we can do it in the same, we can do it in the same conversation. We can paste more information in it, basically whatever we would like. I do recommend using the structure of role keyword divider, skills divider, result. This will just help you create a good flow of your headline and keep it not too long. And it also kind of prioritizes the things that the person will read through first and last. So for example, right away, right, on the right-hand side, you can see my prompt, and here is what ChatGPT gave me in the end. So experienced business analyst, financial modeling, strategic insights, data-driven decision-making, higher education sector. These are, if you followed along with the prompts and the answers, the most top 5 keywords that were mentioned in that job description. So if a recruiter from that company is going to be searching for that role or a similar role, my profile should pop up much more likely. It will also give you a little explanation of why it thinks it's a good headline as a bonus. But now, here are our 5 steps. And what I really like about those steps is they're very much accessible and easy to follow. Anyone can take those prompts and do them today. It really doesn't take that much effort to take those steps and improve your resume, your LinkedIn profile, potentially your personal brand, whatever it is. So feel free to dive into that and do yourself a favor for the time when you're going to be starting applying for jobs. And you might even see recruiters reaching out to you. Of course, this is just the beginning, and there are so many other prompts that can give you an incredible result in ChatGPT in so many other directions in your job enhancement skills. So For example, with your interviewing skills, as mentioned before, I'm interviewing for this. Can you give me a comprehensive list of questions interviewers will ask me during this interview? Also provide brief answers to each question. That will help you prepare for that interview as if you're preparing with a career coach. You can also sort of go through like a little interview with ChatGPT, ask it to give you questions, give it responses, and ask it to provide you feedback. Second one, proofread my writing above. Fix grammar and spelling mistakes, make suggestions that will improve the clarity of my writing. The top one mistake that you can make while creating your resume is having grammar and spelling mistakes. Resume or cover letter, doesn't matter, or even your LinkedIn profile. The one thing that you should really, really avoid is having those, as that will make you seem unprofessional and messy. So if you even not going to go through those 5 steps, at least have another little assistant that will help you eliminate those silly mistakes that you might be overlooking. Brainstorm and give me a list of 20 new ideas for blah, blah, blah. For example, LinkedIn posts on this topic. This will help you build your personal brand, and you're going to be touching more on that in the personal brand webinars and things like that. But growing your profile and creating posts for that industry that you want to be working on can define your success within that industry. Using those keywords not only in your resume and your profile itself, but also in posts and in comments and notes and things like that will improve the findability and searchability of your profile for recruiters. So this is another sort of component that you can look into. And now, let's say you are struggling with finding the right prompt for something you want to do. You can ask ChatGPT to create good prompts for you, which seems very ironic, but this is real. You can ask it to generate a list, for example, of 10 best prompts for a particular task or topic. So the possibilities really here are limitless for you. Also wanted to share with you guys a couple of other platforms that you might want to use other than ChatGPT. So for example, there is Teal that can help you organize and manage your job searches. There is Lavender, can help you craft compelling emails that get responses. Quellbot, like Grammarly on steroids, but better. Speako, it's like a speech coach that can enhance your interviewing skills with an AI speech coach. Tome, generate visually appealing presentations in seconds that can also include your projects that you might want to send to your future employees or recruiters to portray your experience. And Reworked AI Analyst for personalized research if you want to really dive deep into a subject and do more research in a particular direction. All of these are AI tools that can help you in a particular direction. So ChatGPT can help you do all of those, but those just allow you a bit more features and a little less input or work from your side. So there are a lot of tools out there. Some of them are free, some of them are not. These are a couple that you might want to use, but honestly, I always go back to ChatGPT because it is just so versatile and it's free. Now, I see a question in the chat as well. Instead of copy pasting the job description, will ChatGPT take information from the URL if we share? Just as mentioned before in the limitations, unfortunately, ChatGPT can't read links, can't read documents, can't read spreadsheets or anything. You can't really attach or upload any information as such. So copy pasting is the best thing if you're using the free version, of course. There are like plugins, APIs, things like that you can use. You can use the paid version that integrates with a lot of other stuff. But if you don't want to pay, the best way of going about it is just copy pasting. And if you have your resume or job description on LinkedIn, tested by myself. If you just copy paste it, you don't really need to format anything. It reads it perfectly, so don't worry about that. It should be fairly easy. Thank you for the question, though. Now, any other question, guys? Do you have any questions here today that you would like to know about ChatGPT and how it can help you enhance your work skills? I'm so happy to look into anything right now with you. If not, feel free to connect with me on LinkedIn as well, and I will be very happy to respond to you on there as well in case you can't think of anything now. Yeah, feel free to pop them in the chat if there is anything else that you would like to know about. And I'll just go through some other Q&As here just to ensure that I did answer everything else that you guys popped in. So we answered the screening device question, and there was a thank you message as well. Thank you so much for coming, guys. Then there was section of the resume where this narrative will go. We've included that. If we can use URLs and we can share. All right, I think we've addressed all of those. Can't see anything else popping in as such here. Feel free to stay with me if you have anything else that you would like to ask me. I'm going to be here for another 5 minutes. But for everyone who has got their heads clear on their steps that they want to take in the next couple of days, couple of weeks to really boost their career enhancement skills, another tool that I wanted to share with you guys, which is not AI based, very much human, but we do provide career development services as well, and that can take it another notch for you guys, so you can do all of that work, then come with that to your career development services, guys, and give it that extra human touch. Feel free to book a session using this QR code. Just scan it with your phone camera, should read it right away, and you can book in a session as well. So there are 30-minute sessions, so you can, everyone who's here today, you can claim 2 sessions per year, which is actually quite a lot. So feel free to book in a session now, and we can go through your LinkedIn, your resume, your interview prep skills, anything that you would like to go through with a career development services coach. All right. Another 2 questions that I saw coming in is, where can I find this recording and slides? So I will share all of this back with Study Melbourne, and I can imagine that they will share those things, guys, with you either in the newsletter or in the resources that are available to you. So just look out for that. But everyone who's registered and attended should get a recording and the slides, so don't worry about that. And another one is, thank you for sharing. Could you please share with us your LinkedIn? Not sure if you shared it before or not, because I was running a bit late. That's all good. So I will just share my name with you guys, if that's cool. And my name is pretty rare, so it should pop up right away. Oh, it's not my last name here. So my name is Nora, Schertwitis. And you can find me in the InternMatch staff as well. So I should be the only Nora working at InternMatch. So you can find me there, add me on LinkedIn. Please feel free to do so. I'm always open to new connections with you guys. Hopefully that helps. Sorry, Leo. I didn't include a QR code for that, but great feedback. We'll do that next time. So hopefully you'll be able to locate me. If not, reach out to anyone and we'll get you connected with us. All right, so one more time, the QR code for everyone who's registering for the services. It is honestly a really great tool that Study Melbourne has developed together with InternMatch for you guys. It can help you so much to just even boost your confidence with your job skills. It is an incredible tool that you can use, even if you think that you're all ready and your resume is maybe ready and everything's ready, but you're just not quite there yet mentally, that can even just help you gather some confidence and gather some positive feedback potentially on all of those things that you've been working so hard on. So have a scan and booking your session. And that leads me to my last slide. Thank you everyone for coming today. It's been such a great pleasure having you all here today and working through these 5 steps and other things. It's been a great session and I hope everyone enjoyed it. And I'm looking forward to hosting more sessions for you guys. So keep a lookout for other events and live events and webinars that Study Melbourne and Internet prepare for you. We are so happy to be helping you guys. So thank you everyone. Have a lovely rest of the day and hopefully we'll see each other soon. Bye everyone.